All right, back for another XRP video, and today guys we're going to be reviewing what's been going on with the most recent price action and what I think is likely to happen next. As I get into the video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you're new, subscribe. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what you're waiting for, check it out. Link is in the description below. Let's jump right down into this one. XRP paired up with USDT on the BitGet spot exchange, 1 hour time frame, and looks like we were pretty accurate yesterday. So we came down into this low range. We were targeting out 46.891 to 47.555. We came down to the low at yesterday 4 p.m. UTC +1, and that low was 46.962, so very, very good. Right, we bounced up, we're up at equilibrium at the moment, so here we should be a little bit concerned. We can see we've got rejected here. It's not just equilibrium, it's the 50 and 200 EMAs. Chances are we've got further downside here to go. Let's go ahead and do some sense checks. Right, so we're looking at this thing as a potential C wave structure, and I'm thinking actually that's probably not what's going on now. Reviewing this and reflecting on it, I think we probably have ourselves a slightly different situation, but we'll leave it there for now. I don't want to kind of run with the idea of a WXYXZ without seeing that a little differently. Let's check this first. I'm just going to check to see whether or not we've actually got a more impulsive. Yeah, we do. We do. That should technically be, or could technically be done, but probably is not. Interesting. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. So, as I kind of reflect on my thoughts there for a second, we have 5 waves here. This is easy. This isn't too much of a problem. The problem comes where this here, it technically meets these requirements, but we've invalidated it here, and we wouldn't have 5 waves in a diagonal that has a wave 4, wave 1 cross. So that means that this is likely to be the C wave. That is going to be where that has to be. So I think, yeah, that works for us. Let's go over into here then and see what's going on. This could just be 3 waves with correction due. Not a problem either, so we'll check. A little short on the 1-to-1. I'm okay with that, considering the 200 EMA, 50 EMA and equilibrium are there. We can just call it a little bit shorter than it would typically move. A, B, and C right inside there. Rejection to the downside is inevitable here, I think. We could, of course, short this market. We probably could short this. I don't know what I clicked on there, but I don't think I should have done that. So let's go ahead and grab hold of our short position. I think if we were to short this, I would put my stop loss just above that recent high, and I would probably target out the consolidation. It's not going to give you a great risk reward ratio. We'll target I would target 1.5, but I would be cautious with this one. It doesn't give us a great setup. It's not a great short setup, a lot unless we push up higher first, because essentially what I was looking at is there's an area of consolidation that's of interest to me here, and you can see we'll be having to push the right onto that lower end at 47.393 if we were to short that market. Possible, yes, it's definitely a possibility to short this one. I think it's not one that I am going to take. This is one I would pass on. I think it's not the best setup. It's not got the best risk-reward ratio, and essentially it would just feel like a little bit too gambling like for me. So I would pass on this one, I think. But you can kind of see the expectation here is that we're probably going to pull down. I would expect this to kind of be a 3-wave pattern, and then we'll continue our move to the upside afterwards. So we can look something like this, maybe testing up that higher ranges once again, pushing out more towards kind of 48.5 cents, something to that effect. We'll know more in due course. I'm going to remove that because I don't need that one on, and we can kind of see right in here well kind of expectations. I'm going to assume that actually this area of consolidation is going to be a nice area for price to want to gravitate back down towards, so I'm going to say 47.365 to 47.522, but again, I wouldn't trade this one. I think this one is a bit too risky in my opinion, but it gives us an idea as to kind of where that could potentially be going. Now, as we can note here, we've kind of filled out a lot of those fair value gaps. Most recently, we can see this one here. It's quite difficult to see here. Let's jump over into our trading. I'm going to have to actually come back one screen here because I was looking at Bitcoin on futures there. So if we come over into XRP USDT under the spot trading area, this gives us a spot trading pair with USDT, but also brings in the trading view that we've drawn on already. So this will show us the kind of fair value gaps and things like that. So we can see here that we've filled this one now, right? So this was the gap that was left behind before, 47.331 and 48.142. This gap was essentially filled yesterday at 11 a.m. UTC +1. So we can see that right inside there, right? We've got that, we've hit it, and we've now moved on up, right? So we filled this gap that was left behind. And at the same time as that has occurred, guys, let me go ahead and grab another box here. We can see that there's a fair value gap that was created on the way down, and what's gone ahead and got filled out there as well. And these gaps, guys, as I say many times, were created from imbalances in the order books. Essentially, in this particular case, yesterday we saw large orders coming in for selling, but not enough people willing to buy at those prices. The price goes down to find the people who are willing to buy. And so as such, with a gap where there's no liquidity or very little liquidity, that happens to be where you would say that there's no liquidity, and essentially where there's no buyers, right? And in this case, you leave the gap behind. And when you leave the gap, price wants to go back and put liquidity where liquidity was not. So price wants to go back and fill the gap, essentially. Now, it doesn't always happen, but it has a high probability if you just go by going through the history and figure out how many fair value gaps are created and how many are filled. You start realizing, yeah, there's a high probability that these gaps get filled out. Okay, so we've completed that one over there, and that's great. No more smaller fair value gaps to be noted here. Obviously, we have them on the daily time frame. If I jump over to the daily here, wait for that trading view chart to load. Bring this down, we still have our low side coming in at 43.014 and 43.761, and then on the high side we have the 53.843 to 56.181. I think that we are going to be heading up towards that higher range one to start with, but we'll see. I think the C-wave structure here has, as I said, finished. It has the potential to go down lower, but I don't think that's a requirement. Like I said, looking at the impulsiveness of it, it looks like it's actually okay, and we should actually start to think about moving more upwards towards those higher ranges. So guys, if you haven't yet signed up to BitGet, then why not check it out? You can obviously get XRP on spot and withdraw it to your own cold storage device or your own wallet. The affiliate link is in the description down below, guys. It's a fantastic platform that does offer some fantastic sign up returns and rewards as well, up to $8,000 of rewards depending on how much you deposit to the platform and how much you trade on the platform. And we do weekly competitions for anyone who is a leverage based trader as well in our Discord server. This is not something that's affiliated with YouTube or affiliated with BitGet. This is something that Chris and myself are doing down in the Discord server. So why not check it out if it's of interest to you? Link is in the description below. Let's move back down into the charts, right? So if we can see here that on our hourly time frame, we're expecting some volatility to the downside before we move on up. What about the daily? The daily is actually looking okay. It could be better, but it could definitely be worse as well. Essentially, we are correcting down on our daily stochastic RSI, but this isn't the end of the world. We are still, of course, targeting out as per structure 61.7 to 61.6, but it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of go up there, or 66.6. It's going to take some time to go up there. I imagine this is going to be months out in the works. Now, it's possible that we just consolidate back down here briefly before we start to move on up. Expectations of this move are a very choppy one. I'm not expecting this to be a straight line kind of job. I expect this to take some time, but we can see the pattern within our data here, and it's kind of the direction that we're kind of heading in my opinion. But we are, of course, if I just load up the weekly time frame here, heading down into the oversold area on the weekly, at the same time heading to overbought on the monthly. So we do have some concerns that after this move upwards, we're going to find another need for retracements, and even after that, we still have technically on track for the 79 to 93 cent range. It's just going to take a long time to play out, in my opinion. Again, if we focus in on the smaller time frame stuff, then obviously we were able to trade this more efficiently, but if we are to kind of do big swing trades, now is probably not the the time to think about going long on XRP. I'd say we probably have better entries in the coming kind of days and weeks and so forth. But, you know, there's opportunity in this nonetheless. Guys, I think I'm going to leave the video right there. If you have found this useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new, then why not subscribe? And, you know, I'll guess if you haven't joined us in Discord, check it out there. Check out link in the description below, and we can continue conversations down in the Discord server. Until the next one, though, guys, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.